Let me tell you something most men over 50 are too proud to talk about. And it's this. One day, you wake up and realize that your body has changed. You look in the mirror, and though your heart still feels 35, something else has slowed down. Your energy, your drive, and yes, your manhood. Now I have sat across from hundreds of men in my clinic, men who built businesses, raised families, fought wars, men who once had a fire that seemed impossible to dim. And they come to me quietly, not with shame, but with frustration, because somewhere along the way they stopped feeling like themselves, not just in the bedroom, but in how they walk through life, how they hold themselves, how they connect. And here's what I tell them: your body may be aging, but your manhood is not gone. It is not broken. It is not something you lost. It is something waiting to be awakened again. And the key to that awakening? It takes just 3 minutes every single morning. That's it. 3 minutes. Not pills, not surgery, not anything unnatural. Just 3 quiet minutes with your body. And the science behind this is solid. Let me explain. When a man wakes up in the morning, his testosterone, the hormone that fuels desire, energy, and confidence, is at its peak. This is not just a coincidence. This is biology's way of reminding you that your body is still capable, still strong, still alive. But as we get older, and especially after the age of 50, this testosterone peak becomes weaker. Not because your body cannot make it, but because it forgets how to respond to the signals that used to keep it thriving. Now, here's the truth: erections are not just about arousal, they are about blood flow. They are about oxygen, and they are about connection between your brain and your body. When blood vessels stop being elastic, when nerves stop firing the way they used to, when you sit too long, when you stop moving, when your sleep is shallow. All of these things combine to dampen the very signals that once made you feel unstoppable. So, what do? We retrain the system every morning for 3 minutes. It's simple. As soon as you wake up, before the coffee, before the phone, before the distractions of the day, sit up, put both feet on the floor, breathe deeply through your nose, and clench the base of your pelvic muscles, slowly, as if you were trying to stop yourself from urinating midstream. Hold that clench for 5 seconds, then release. Do it again, slowly, gently, no force, just intention. Do this 10 times. That takes about 1 minute. Now stand up and stretch your hips wide. Open your chest. Tilt your pelvis forward and backward. Rotate your hips slowly. Wake up the blood vessels around your groin. Encourage circulation. This does not need to be yoga. It is movement, controlled, deliberate. Do this for 1 more minute. Then close your eyes. Place your hand gently over your heart and simply breathe. In through your nose, out through your mouth. Visualize your body healing. Feel your blood flowing. This is not nonsense. There is research showing that visualization paired with breath work enhances nitric oxide release in the blood. Nitric oxide is the molecule that allows your blood vessels to expand. And without it, erections cannot happen. Now let me share the science behind what I'm telling you. A study published in the International Journal of Impotence Research found that men who performed pelvic floor exercises for just 12 weeks saw significant improvements in erectile strength. In fact, over 70% of men in the study regained normal function without medication, not because they used a drug, but because they used their own muscles to train their body back into responsiveness. Another study from the University of Exeter showed that regular deep breathing and slow, intentional physical movement helps reduce cortisol, the stress hormone that kills testosterone. In men over 60, cortisol is often elevated due to chronic stress, poor sleep, and anxiety about health. When cortisol is high, testosterone stays low. And when testosterone is low, arousal and performance suffer. But with just a few minutes of mindful breathing, cortisol drops. And testosterone can rise again naturally. There is more. A 2021 meta-analysis from the journal Sexual Medicine Reviews found that sleep quality was one of the most predictive factors in erectile health. And what you do the moment you wake up sets the rhythm for your entire day when you start your morning grounded, present, in your body. You are training your nervous system to remain balanced. And when your nervous system is balanced, your arousal pathways, the very highways that fuel desire, stay clear and alive. But I want to speak from the heart now, because all the science in the world means nothing unless you believe one thing. You're not past your prime. You're not less of a man because your body needs more attention now. You're not broken. You are simply being invited to reconnect, to reawaken. Many of the men I see do not even realize that they have been carrying a subtle grief, a sense of loss, not just of function, but of intimacy, of spontaneity, of that spark that once made them feel vital. And that is what this 3-minute ritual gives back. Not just stronger blood flow, but confidence, trust in your body again. And that trust builds over time. It is not instant, but it is powerful. One man told me that after just 2 weeks of doing this, he noticed something remarkable. He began waking up with morning erections again, something he had not experienced in nearly 4 years. Another told me that while his performance had not returned fully, he felt more engaged, more alive, more himself. And to me, that's a win. Because the road back to full strength is not a sprint, it is a return home, to your own body, to your breath, to your presence. I want to leave you with this. The men who regain their manhood in their 70s, even their 80s, they are not lucky. They are not rare. They are simply consistent. They choose every morning to honor their body, to give it attention, to breathe into it, to believe in its capacity to heal. You do not need 3 hours. You do not need special equipment. You need 3 minutes. Every morning, no excuses, no shame. Do it because you want to feel like yourself again. Do it because you deserve to feel strong, desirable, connected. Do it because your partner still wants you, even if they have never said it out loud. Do it because manhood is not just about sex, it is about energy, pride, motion. It is about walking into your day with your head held high. So, tomorrow morning, before the world asks anything of you, give yourself those 3 minutes. Sit up, clench, breathe, stretch, visualize. Not once, not occasionally, but every single day. Watch what begins to return, not just function, but fire, life, joy. Because manhood does not fade. It waits. It waits for you to come back. And when you do, it will rise again, stronger than you remembered, steadier than you thought possible. Begin tomorrow, just 3 minutes. Your future self will thank you. Let's talk about one of the most common and honest questions every man asks once he begins this journey. Doctor, how long before I start noticing changes? It is a fair question. It is a human question. When something in your body no longer works the way it once did, and when you finally decide to reclaim it, it is natural to want results. And not someday, soon. You want to know that your effort is leading somewhere, that the commitment you are making is worth it. And I want to give you a truthful answer, not just hopeful words, but a real roadmap, one grounded in biology, in evidence, and in the stories of men who have walked this path before you. In the first week, your changes will not shout, they will whisper. But if you are paying attention, those whispers are powerful. Within the first 7 days of doing your morning practice, the 3-minute ritual of pelvic muscle activation, deep breathing, hip mobility, and visualization, something begins to shift. Not yet in your erection strength, but in your connection to your own body. You may notice that your posture improves, that your breath is deeper, that you feel more grounded. This is no small thing, because these signals mean that your nervous system is moving out of fight or flight and into rest and repair. And that is where real healing begins. A study from Harvard Medical School in 2017 showed that even brief daily mindfulness and breath work can reduce cortisol levels by over 20% in just 1 week. Lower cortisol means your testosterone has room to rise, and that is the foundation of everything we are working toward. By week 2, the body starts to respond with more clarity. You may notice that you are waking up with more frequent or firmer morning erections. Even if they are not as strong as they used to be, this is a sign of returning vascular activity. Blood vessels that were dormant are beginning to open again. Nitric oxide, the molecule that makes blood vessels relax and widen, is being released in greater amounts due to your breathing and movement practice. A 2019 study published in the Journal of Sexual Medicine found that even light pelvic floor engagement combined with deep diaphragmatic breathing increased nitric oxide output by up to 40% within 2 weeks. This is not just theory, it is biology responding to your consistency. And with every morning that you show up, your blood flow is improving. Now, by the time you reach week 3, the real progress becomes more visible. You might begin to feel arousal more naturally during the day. You may find that your confidence is returning in small but important ways, the kind that shows in how you walk, how you look at yourself in the mirror, how you relate to your partner. One man once told me, I caught myself flirting again. I did not even plan it. It just came out. That is what reconnection looks like. It is not just physical, it is emotional, mental, hormonal. The pieces are starting to come back together. Testosterone, while it may not have doubled, is beginning to rise. And research shows that even a modest increase, say 15%, is enough to improve libido and energy in noticeable ways. A study from the University of Western Australia tracked over 300 men and found that lifestyle-based increases in testosterone over 3 to 4 weeks were strongly linked to improved erectile performance and mood. By week 4, you are no longer just hoping. You are beginning to believe. The muscles in your pelvic floor have been waking up daily. They are becoming stronger, more responsive. You are not just imagining improvement. It is real, and the evidence continues to grow. A randomized clinical trial published in the British Journal of General Practice found that men who performed simple pelvic floor exercises daily for 4 weeks experienced significant improvements in erectile function scores, particularly in their ability to maintain an erection during intercourse. It was not magic. It was muscle memory returning through repetition. That is what you are building every morning. Now, moving into the second month, the changes take deeper root. Erections may begin to feel fuller, more reliable. You may feel less anxiety around intimacy. Why? Because your body is beginning to trust itself again. You are not fighting to get something to happen. You are allowing it to happen, naturally. One of the most overlooked parts of erectile health is the brain's role in trust. When the brain perceives failure over and over, it stops trying. But when it sees success, even small ones, it regains faith. That faith shows up in performance, not just physically, but emotionally, spiritually. By week 6 or 7, many men tell me they feel like their old self again. Not every time, not perfect, but the return is unmistakable. Stronger morning erections, less delay in arousal, and more consistency. By week 8, the habits are no longer new. They are yours. You have trained your nervous system. You have nourished your blood vessels. You have reconnected your breath with your pelvis. And now you are seeing the rewards. The results vary. Some men are back to full function, others are halfway there, but almost all report feeling more alive, more certain, more in control. That's the real success. Because erections are not the only goal. The goal is wholeness, connection, confidence. The goal is to feel like you belong fully in your body again, and that is what this process gives you. As you move into the third month and beyond, the changes deepen. Blood vessels grow more flexible, muscles become more toned, hormones regulate more efficiently. This is not guesswork. This is backed by long-term studies. One in particular, published in The Aging Male, found that consistent lifestyle practices over 90 days led to meaningful increases in both testosterone levels and self-reported sexual satisfaction in over 70% of participants. Not because of drugs, but because of daily discipline. So, how long does it take? It begins in week 1 with awareness. It grows in week 2 with circulation. It strengthens in week 3 and week 4 with trust. It becomes your new rhythm by month 2. And by month 3, you are living in a new chapter. A chapter where healing is not just possible, it is visible, tangible, real. But here's what I want you to remember most: this is not a race. Your body does not operate on a stopwatch, it operates on consistency, on belief, on respect. And if you give it the care it deserves, it will respond. Maybe not overnight, but always in time. Start tomorrow. One day, then another, then a week, then a month. Your manhood is not gone. It is waiting, waiting for your return. Keep showing up. The changes are already on their way.